Welcome on in to the third edition of Terry and Friends, or sorry, Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. Um, I hope you are all having a great day. We got a nice card here in front of us. Some games I really like. Um, we should have two more friends joining us here in a few minutes. Nick, how have things been going for you?
This weekend was kind of interesting to say the least. I'm not gonna go too in depth in it. Somehow I was profitable overall in sports betting this weekend. Not really in hockey though, because underdogs loved blowing leads this weekend, but I'm not getting into that. But other than that, it was not a bad weekend. Obviously, the NFL card. That was probably one of the just entertainment wise one of the best weekends of football I've seen in a very long time. Good luck AFC NFC championship games trying to one up those. But yeah, overall, college basketball is really good for me this weekend. NHL, I'm hoping to get a little bit better. I like a few spots on this card a lot, and hopefully we can find some spots to make some decent money tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I obviously I know where you're going, and you know where I'm going. For today's card, we kind of know ahead. We have a little group chat we chat in, so um, we're definitely going to be on different sides. But that's the
What
great
else is
thing.
new?
Yeah, but that's a great thing about it, though, is having people with different opinions. Because if all four of us came on and said,
Agreed
"Oh,
on
we like this
everything.
team, this team, this team," and it's all the same, and it's just exactly the same, it would be kind of boring, and obviously, um, it wouldn't be when that if that team loses, we would all just look bad, right? So, um, we will almost get started here. Andy's just joined us, and Andy, how's it going?
I'm good, thanks, Terry. How are you?
Not too bad. The weekend was good. Really entertaining football. The football games were really, really good. Obviously, a little controversy there, um, but the actual watching of the games, they were really exciting. So it was a good weekend.
Yeah, they were fantastic games. I don't think the NFL could have asked for anything better.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And here's
Um,
the plain simple solution for everything. We put the Chiefs against the Bills for a best of 7 for the Super Bowl. Forget the other teams. Those are the two teams that deserve to play in the Super Bowl.
no. I won't get into the NFL because we will be having our NFL show this Thursday night, where we will go over the this weekend's football. So definitely tune into that. Also, Monday and Wednesday nights, we are going to have a show with me, Nick, and Nathan. We might have a fourth guest come in as well. Just where we'll look at tomorrow's game, so the Tuesday, Thursday, which are usually big cards. We'll look over the lines at that time, and Nick and Nathan will explain what games they think the lines are going to move in, where you should hit now, where you should wait till tomorrow, that kind of thing. So that will be starting tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Bleed will be joining us here in just a minute. We will get started and go on to the first game. Anaheim Ducks plus 205 are in Boston, minus 245, a total of 5.5 in this game. For me, I am on Pasternak anytime goal, plus 105 for a quarter unit. I am not going heavy in this, just a small quarter unit for this. I see Pasternak in a goal. He has been scoring lately. He has scored in, I believe, 3 of his last 4 games. Anaheim has been trending downwards since the Christmas break. They have 3 wins in 11 games. Boston, on the other hand, 10-2-0 in their last 12. They have been playing very well. Anaheim is leaning heavily towards under. Boston is leaning heavily towards over. So I don't have any opinion on the total here. Just because these two teams are trending in different directions, it's kind of hard to tell how many goals will be here in this game. Both teams are very even in power play and penalty kill, so there's no advantage there. I lean towards Boston puck line, but against the Ducks goaltending, I don't want to have to rely on the puck line. So a small quarter unit bet on Pastrnak to score, and whatever happens in the rest of the game won't affect me. Nick, what do you think? Anaheim and Boston.
Yeah, this is not a game I got to, or not a game I bet. And for me, at the price that it's at, I was looking a little bit towards Anaheim, but this line has dropped a little bit. I believe this was around a plus 230 this morning. Now it's around plus 214, plus 215 on my book for the Anaheim Ducks. And this could be a potential flat spot here for the Boston Bruins in this game. You know how much I love my underdogs. I like a few underdogs on this slate. And I'm leaning towards Anaheim, at least at the plus 1.5 at minus 120. I think that they keep this game close. I mean, we saw what Anaheim did in their last game. They played pretty well. Even though they were still, even in a 5-1 win against Tampa Bay, they were outchanced in that game. Their expected goals total was not. They didn't win the expected goals battle. They lost it 3.85 to 3.7. Even in the game, they won 5-1. So Anaheim's not particularly a team I'm looking to back right now, and it's unfortunate because this was a team I really liked throughout the season so far, and they've made me some money as an underdog. I think that's where the only place you can look at Anaheim. And as good as Boston's been playing, I don't know if I can lay this type of juice with Boston here. So this would be a dog or pass spot for me. I almost pulled the trigger on the Anaheim Ducks, but I passed on this game.
No problem with passing. Andy, what do you think, Anaheim, Boston?
I'm going to go and back the Anaheim Ducks here in this spot. And Nick, I think you want to, and I agree with all the same reasons that you said. This is actually a really bad spot for Boston. We've seen this a few times. When Boston is about to go on a road trip, they drop their final home game. They did it against the Wild before their last road trip. And here they are. They're on their final home game in what's been a very successful home stand. I think the only game they've lost is against the Carolina Hurricanes, which is not a bad loss. And
I mean, 7-1 was a bad loss, but yeah.
The score was a bad loss, but the team they lost to wasn't a bad loss. And that basically that game was over in the first period. You know, they came off the celebration, the ceremony, and then boom, Carolina hit them in the first period, and that game was over. So the score doesn't really reflect how dominant of a win it was. Nevertheless, this is not only the final home game for Boston before they go on their road trip. Who do they face in their first road game? Colorado Avalanche. So this is a bit of a letdown spot as well as being a look-ahead spot. And the Anaheim Ducks, as you said, Nick, they are a very sneaky underdog. You get a lot of value on their money line, and whenever you've got Gibson in net, he can keep the Ducks in this game. And he is one of the main reasons why this team has actually got the third best penalty kill in the season. And I've said it a few times before on previous broadcasts. The Ducks are the second in the NHL for being the first scoring team. And usually it requires Troy Terry to be in the team. Now, I understand Troy Terry is starting today. Is that correct?
I think they're getting a few players back. I think Milano's due back as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Is he confirmed? Because this morning I saw he was a scratch. Like, I didn't even see him on quota, but he was a scratch.
Troy Terry's day-to-day. Sonny Milano. Okay, nope. Now it's saying upper body injury, due back on the 11th of February. So no.
I think he tweaked something in practice, so they're probably gonna keep him out a little longer. And the All-Star game is coming up soon, so it's his first All-Star too. He's not gonna want to miss that.
Yeah, but nothing on Troy Terry.
I see here he's day-to-day, or he's day-to-day, non-injury related. He's cleared the protocols, but he still remains a game-time decision for today's game against Boston.
Yeah,
if he's in, I will probably have a Ducks ticket. If they can confirm him in, I will bet the Ducks.
he made comments this morning to local reporters that suggested that he thought he was going to be playing. So regardless, I'm backing the Ducks in this spot at that price. And I'm also, I quite like them to be the first scorer at plus 140. And I think the first period over is not a bad look at minus 125. So yeah, that's the angles I'm going to attack this game in. No view on the full game total.
Mm-hmm. If you like them to score first, would you like them at that first period money line? Then
no,
because you can get a nice little plus 175 on the first period money line for the Ducks.
You can, but I wouldn't be surprised if Boston also scores.
Yeah.
All right, Bleed, welcome on in. You just joined us here. We're on the first game, Ducks and Bruins. What do you think?
I got nothing.
Good input.
I was kind of looking at Nick's show before, him and his brother, and I kind of have the same sentiments here. I'm like, I don't know which way to lean. Boston has been good recently, but they're still not a very good home team. The Ducks are, if Troy Terry is playing, that is a factor right there already.
Yes. So
as of right now, I don't know if he's playing. I cannot touch the ticket over or under. I would be leaning under because of John Gibson. He is confirmed, correct?
I believe so. Let me check. Not confirmed, but Tuukka Rask is confirmed.
Oh, yeah, Tuukka Rask is confirmed. Ooh. See, even there, Tuukka's been a little shaky coming in. So I honestly have nothing here. Maybe some Pasternak anytime goal. I like that. That should be plus money, plus 120, plus 130, whatever juice you can get on it. It's plus money, so I would go with that for happy unit.
That's all I got for today, but I got a plus 105, unfortunately. But that's my only bet for that game. All I could come up with is a Pasternak goal. But nothing wrong. I have a lot of picks in this next game, so we will move on along. Dallas Stars are in Philadelphia facing the Flyers. Dallas is minus 170. Philadelphia plus 150. Total 5.5. Dallas has been a pretty bad road team this year. However, they have won 2 in a row, their last 2 on the road, facing pretty bad teams. Philly has lost 11 games in a row. They're 0-8-3 in their last 11. That would qualify for me as a bad team. They are not playing well. Dallas has won 2 games on the road. I think they make it 3. I am on quite a few picks in this game. Joe Pavelski has at least 1 assist in 4 of his last 5 games. So that is definitely one of my picks. I am on a half unit on Dallas in regulation at plus 105, a quarter unit on Hintz anytime goal, plus 220, a quarter unit on Robertson anytime goal, plus 180, a quarter unit on Pavelski over half an assist, plus 165. Or sorry, that might be a power play point, the over half assist. I'll have to check on that. Hintz over half a power play point at plus 185, and Robertson over half a power play point at plus 195. Dallas is actually the 8th best road power play in the league. Even being a very bad road team, they're 30th in goals for on the road, 2.21 goals a game. But they are 8th in power play percentage, 25% on the road. So Dallas is getting it done on the power play. I'm going to take those power play props because they're plus 195, plus 185, and this team is scoring on the road on the power play. So that's how I look at this game. I see Dallas winning in regulation. I see a few goals on the power play, at least 1 or 2, and I see a Dallas win here. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, this is not going to be the sexy pick. This is not going to be this is the greatest pick in the world. It's what Turnsy's saying right there. I'm on the Flyers in this spot here. Yes, I know they've lost 11 straight games. I know you don't want to catch a falling knife, but at plus 143, I had this game power ranked around, or my handicap says this game should have been around a minus 120. I don't trust the Stars on the road laying 160. That's the plain and simple truth in this game. And when we look at the advanced numbers for Philadelphia in their last 5 games, their expected goal totals have been much higher than their actual goal totals, and their goals allowed by expected goals is much lower than what they've actually been giving up. And for their last 5, their expected goals against has been better than the amount of goals they've given up. And the one that wasn't better was a 0.13 difference. So this is a Flyers team. I'm expecting positive regression. No, I'm not saying they're a good team. I don't even know if they win this game tonight. I'm just saying there's value at the line here at plus 140, plus 145. And I know not many people are going to love Philly in this spot, but I still think Carter Hart's a decent goalie, to be completely honest. It's all mental for him. But if we look at his stats haven't been that bad this year. A 9/11 save percentage, that's not great, but a 2.90 goals allowed average, that's not terrible. It's just this Philly team isn't getting much offense going. And I expect some offense in this game as well. I'm on the over 5.5 in this game as well because as good as Ottinger has been, he's not as good on the road. And they're coming off of 2 struggle wins on the road against Detroit and Buffalo. So it's not like they're beating good teams on the road here. Yes, they've won 2 games in a row on the road, but they've beaten Buffalo and Detroit. Now, if they went and beat Colorado and Vegas or something like that, I'd be a little bit more impressed. But those are not 2 teams to look at. Now, I know Philly's part of that level as well, that Detroit and Buffalo are at. But Flyers money line here for me. This is not the sexy pick. This is not the greatest. This is not the most confident pick in the world. But at this line, I had to take it.
All right, Bleed, what do you think?
This is one of my favorite games for high scoring tonight. See, I like that you're both on different sides here because I'm on the alternate over 6.5 at plus 140. I see both teams here scoring. Both of these teams are horrible on the PK. Flyers have been heating up on the power play. Like Nick was saying, positive regression here. They've allowed some really bad goals, but I mean it's gonna be on the power play for Dallas also, and it's gonna be on the power play for the Flyers in this case too. So again, I'm with you on those props for PP on. I actually got a power play prop. Shout out to our boy Alexander. Fuck off. He hit one. He hit a big one yesterday, and it kind of inspired us to. Inspired me to check up on the singles for PP props tonight. I like Robertson to get a power play point. I like Kreider to get a power play point. So I'm going to parlay those guys. And McCart to get a power play point. So I got those 3 guys right now. Let's see what it's going to give me here because on one of the books, I can't parlay.
Philly and over, I can give you a line on that. Their turns. You give me 2 seconds.
But, I basically like the over in this game. I see like a 5-4 game. I don't know which way to lean because, again, like you guys said, Ottinger hasn't been great on the road. Hart has been not as bad as advertised. I agree. I think he's still a good goalie with a good future. It's just Philly just ruins their goalies. They have a history of ruining goalies. So for me, I just see goals in here. I like.
I was just about to say the same thing there, Lenny. It's plus 382 on my book.
What, the tie?
No, Philly money line and over 5.5.
Oh wow, yeah, that's the nice part. That's a nice like bet builder. Honestly, yes. Wouldn't mind which way you go with that one. That plus 380 is great value. But yeah, Rupe Hintz to score. I like. I'm with you on Robertson to get a goal. Also, I'm with Robertson to get a PP. He's really been the Stars' bright star like this season. He's really coming to his own, and he's the reason why like this Dallas Stars has been winning games on the road because they get outshot, they get outplayed a lot of the first 2 periods, and I definitely like that. And obviously, you already said with your assist, you're the assist man, Terry. So I'll let you with that. That's all I got for this game.
All right. Yeah, I'm on all the same props as you there. For Turnsy, Philly money line and over at Bet365 is plus 367. So the not as good odds there is a 380, but
close enough.
Yeah, you got to take what you got to take. Andy, what do you think? Dallas and Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think this is where Philadelphia get their win and break their losing streak. Dallas is not a good road team. They've just won 2 on the road. I don't think they're going to win a third one. Philadelphia's losing streak is going to end at some point, and this would be a very good spot for it to occur in. When you actually look at their losing streak and then split it up into road and home, their home games have been very, very competitive. Okay, so they had 1 blowout loss against the Penguins, of course, but of the other 4 home games, they went to overtime and lost against the Sharks. They went to overtime and lost in a shootout against the Islanders. And against the Rangers and Blue Jackets, they lost by 1 goal. So they've been in essentially all of their home games in this losing streak. And now you get facing a team which has a terrible road record and has just won 2 road games. So they're going to come into this game feeling quite happy with themselves, and they might not necessarily have such a strong desire to win the game as Philadelphia will. And I've got Carter Hart in net. So that's enough for me at these odds to back the Flyers.
All right. So I am all by myself on Dallas. Bleed likes the over, so and a lot of the same props as me. If Dallas doesn't win and I hit a few of those props, that'll be fine because the big plus money props. So we'll see what happens. We'll move on to the next game. I also really like this game. Los Angeles Kings are in New York facing the Rangers. Rangers minus 155, LA Kings plus 135, a total of 5.5. This is a huge power play advantage for the Rangers. The Rangers have the 5th best home power play at 28.6%. Los Angeles has the 2nd last worst road penalty kill at 71%. So this is, like the Dallas game for me, a spot where I'm going to look at power play points for the Rangers. So what I did in this game, I took Kreider anytime goal, half a unit for plus 125. He has scored in 5 straight games. Strome has an assist in 4 of his last 5 games. So I took a half unit on Strome over half an assist at plus 125. Zibanejad over half an assist at plus 100. Half a unit on that as well. Usually you can find that for like minus 120, minus 110. So the fact that it's plus money, I had to jump on that for Zibanejad. And then I took the 5 players on the top power play: Fox, Kreider, Panarin, Strome, and Zibanejad. I took all of them separately at a quarter unit apiece. The lowest is Panarin at plus 125 and Strome at plus 250 is the biggest odds there. So I took all 5 of the top power play for a quarter unit. I've seen this Rangers power play at home. It's very good, and especially facing the league, one of the worst road penalty kills. I like all 5 of those. I could see multiple goals on the power play, and I could see myself cashing all 5 of those. But I expect to at least cash 2 or 3 of them with 1 goal. Nick, what do you think here? LA and Rangers.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up right now to see, as you said, there's the big power play or the special teams gap here. I'm trying to find the rankings on where the Kings are for penalties, like how many penalties they commit per game. Because if they only commit like 1 to 2, 3 penalties a game, and the Rangers aren't going to get that many power plays, I don't think that the power of the special teams is going to make much of a difference if you're not getting power plays. But that being said, looking at these advanced statistics behind these two teams, the Rangers are overrated. And I've said this plenty of times, and I'm not a huge fan of this Rangers team. Their 5-on-5 numbers suck. Their expected goals numbers suck. They always get outchanced by every single team they play. If we look at their last 5 games, they got outchanced by the Arizona Coyotes, who outchanced almost nobody in the league. Like this is an Arizona Coyotes team where it feels like they get outchanced and their expected goals suck all the time. And the Rangers got outchanced by them. They got outchanced in the previous game 5.6 to 3.71, 4.10 to 3.13, 2.08 to 1.93 against the Flyers. They got outchanced against the Flyers, which that offense is terrible. And then they barely outdid the Sharks. And basically all this Rangers team is Igor Shesterkin standing on his head every game. If he doesn't have an absolute perfect game, this team loses. Or if it's Alexander Georgiev in net, this team loses. Like this is not a good team. In my eyes, this is where they are in the rankings right now, in second place in that Metro division, I believe. I think at best they're a 4th place team in the Metro. I think the Penguins are better than them. I think the Capitals are better than them. And I think that the Hurricanes are better than them. And coming down the stretch, this is going to be a team that regresses back down to a wild card spot. This is not a team that's going to compete for the division. I think they're very talented, yes, but their numbers, you can only mess with this for so long before it regresses back down to the mean. And I'm looking to fade these Rangers as long as I can because I don't think they're that great of a team overall for where they are priced. At this price, even because I think it's going to be Jonathan Quick in net tonight for the LA Kings, their expected goals numbers are great. Other than being outchanced yesterday against New Jersey, they've outchanced their opponents in their last 4 games. And there's a positive expected goals for offensively for them. So this is a team that I'm expecting to put up goals. And I like the Kings in the spot. Kings money line for me here. I got them around plus 140. I think this game should be once again like a plus 115, plus 120 spot here. I don't think the Rangers should be this big of favorites. So I took the value here with the Kings, even on a second half of back-to-back. I think that this is a sneaky good Kings team, and I think they get the job done tonight.
All right. Well, before we get to bleed, it is called Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. So we're just going to have a little bit of I have a rebuttal for you there, Nick. Rangers 12-3-2 at home this year. They're 4-1 in their last 5 games, and they have the 5th best power play in the league. That is not Shesterkin. I get it. Shesterkin is a huge part of the team. He is one of the best goalies in the league, but you don't get a 5th ranked home power play from the goalie. So I think that the Rangers are a very good team, and I think they are a top 3 team in the division. But everybody's entitled to their opinion. So obviously, you and I tend to disagree a lot. But I think this Rangers team, they're also 3-0-2 in their last 5 at home versus LA. And Quick has not been performing well. So for me, I would not look anywhere near LA. But obviously,
what I'm trying to get to is if the Rangers make the playoffs and Igor Shesterkin's not absolutely perfect, this team loses in 5 to 6 games against whoever they play. I'll look to bet against them in the playoffs.
But we're not in the playoffs right now.
I know.
I agree with that in the playoffs. But exactly, we're in the regular season right now.
Yeah.
Bleed.
Quick has looked great this year. I don't know what you're talking about. Quick has looked good this year. I mean, recently he's not been as good, but he's not had a bad year. You're saying this like he's playing like Martin Jones. No, he's fine. Like he's looked good.
All right, Bleed. What do you think?
I believe I already put in the comments, but I expect the Rangers to whoop some ass tonight. Rangers puck line plus 165. I think I'm fading the LA Kings here on back-to-back. I really am with Quick in. The PP has been great for the Rangers. I was one of the guys that was fading the Rangers with you, Nick. I really was. But what I've seen from them, especially against Toronto, what I saw 4 for them against. I mean, yes, it is Arizona, but Arizona's been playing actually pretty good hockey lately. Yeah. They played pretty good hockey against us. I lost a bunch of money on that because I basically faded the wrong team there. I should have faded my Avalanche recently, especially. But yeah, I just like the Rangers here. I like Kreider to get a PP. I like Fox to get a PP. I'm with you on that one. I'm on that puck line. I am not touching the over because of Shesterkin. I think they start Shesterkin here because they're going to have, I think, 2 days off until their next game. So they don't really need to put in their backup. They're in a spot where they're hot. Chris Kreider is hot. I like Chris Kreider to get on the board again here. This is a very good matchup for the Rangers against the LA Kings on back-to-back. That's all I'm going to say. Rangers to whoop ass tonight at home with the puck line.
All right. Andy, what do you think here? Are you going to make it a even split, or are you with me and bleed?
No, I think Nick is wrong. I've agreed with him on the first two games. I disagree with him on this one. The Rangers are a far superior team to this LA Kings team. The LA Kings have not really achieved much on the road at all. If you look at who they've actually won against on the road, this is it going back from recent to more distant. The Devils, the Kraken, the Capitals and Panthers, they're okay. And then Oilers, Senators, Canadiens. They're not actually beating high-quality teams on the road. And the Rangers are an excellent team, and they're even better at home. And yes, when Shesterkin is in net, they're very hard to beat. But for me, it's not so much about the shot tally because you can get outshot. It's about the quality of the shots. And they're showing that their quality of shots are better because they're actually scoring with them. They're scoring with lower shots. So for me, they're a better offensive team than most in the league. So I rate them highly. I definitely rate them higher at home. And the LA Kings do not have a good record on the second of back-to-backs. They're actually, I think they've gone 3-4 in the second of the back-to-backs. But some of them, as I've already explained, were against bottom-ranked teams. So I think they only have one quality win in the second of back-to-backs this season. So I will take the Rangers in regulation. And the other thing to remember is this is a revenge spot for the Rangers. In the last game, the LA Kings beat them. So give me the Rangers in regulation.
All right. We will move on along here to the next game. Vegas is in Washington. Plus 125 for Vegas, minus 145 for Washington. A total of 6, minus 125 for the over. I got the over at half a unit, minus 120 earlier on in the day. The last, so all 3 times that Vegas has gone to Washington, all 3 have gone over 6. Washington's 2-1 in those 3 games. In Vegas's last 7 games, 4 have gone over 6, 2 under, and 1 push. Washington is even. 2 went over, 2 went under, and 1 push. So they're a little bit more even there. But Washington has the 9th best goals for at home at 3.36 goals a game. Vegas has the 2nd best goals for on the road at 3.69. So both teams are scoring on average over 3 goals a game when Washington's at home, Vegas on the road. So I could see this being a 3-3 game that goes to overtime. I would not talk anybody off the draw in this game. I looked at props. I didn't find anything I liked. So all I did is take the over 6. But as I talk about this, I'm talking myself right onto the draw. Now that I look at it, Washington, 2 out of their last 5 games went to overtime. 3 of Vegas's last 7 have gone to overtime. So I just talked myself onto the draw. So I'll be adding a quarter unit on the draw, which is plus 325. These are 2 pretty good teams, evenly matched. So I'll take a 3-3 game. that goes to overtime and cash both bets. Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that draw look. It's 345 on my book, so it's a nice little price there if you guys are interested in that. I'm on Vegas in this spot here. We have Vegas. They're coming off of a unsuccessful homestand. There's no way to sugarcoat that. They lost a few games that they really shouldn't have. Their expected goal totals have actually been really good recently compared to their opponents, and they've just been getting unlucky. Puck luck just not on their side, things like that. They've outscored their opponents by expected goals in 4 of their last 5 games. The only one they didn't was that game against Pittsburgh where they blew the 3-0 lead. On the other side of Washington, it feels like it's a feast or famine with this team when it looks at expected goals, because you have some games like Winnipeg and Ottawa where they had 3.04 and 3.43 expected goals, and then you see against Vancouver 2.65, and then against Boston 1.01 expected goals. They couldn't get really much done on offense in that game. I'm not too impressed here with the Washington Capitals as of late. And you guys know how I feel about Washington. I have a Stanley Cup ticket for them in my back pocket at 16-1. So this is a team, and I have Alexander Ovechkin to win the MVP at 7-1. So this is a team I am higher on than most. It's just, this is a Vegas spot for me here. You rarely see the Vegas Golden Knights at this nice of a plus price tag. I actually got a bad line at this. I got this last night around plus 111, and it's only risen. So I also like Robin Lehner more than Vitek Vanacek. I believe it's Robin Lehner in net here tonight in this game. It's projected to be him. I don't know who else it would be because I think Laurent Brossoit is not available. So it would be Robin Lehner. So I like the Vegas Golden Knights in this spot. Plus 129 now, plus 130. I love that price. So I'll take the underdog once again in this game, and I'll go with Vegas.
All right. Yeah, I can see that happening. We know how Washington is in overtime. Andy has told us previously to bet against Capitals in overtime, and has cashed a couple times. Recently, though,
and of course they win in overtime against the Senators when I have a Senators ticket.
Yeah, recently I think they've been getting a little bit better in overtime.
Yes, but remember, so the first time they then won in overtime was against the Jets, and remember I said, for the first time this season, I believe that the Capitals will win in overtime, and they did that, and then they backed it up again with another overtime win against the Senators. So yeah, you can no longer follow that. It's pivoted now.
Yeah. Oh, so you wouldn't recommend it at all now?
No, because they've gotten over that mental hurdle of being able to win in overtime.
They've broken the streak.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, Bleed, what do you think in this game, Vegas? And
yeah, I lean Vegas too here with Nick. I like the plus money play. Washington hasn't been great at home lately. Even with the Islanders game, I felt like they could have had so many more goals. I think they're struggling a little bit to score. So is Vegas, but I think this is a game where we will see goals. So I do like the over. On my books, personally, I got the over 6.5. It's at minus 105. So it's kind of the books are telling you already they're expecting this to go way over. I do like the over 6.5 here at almost even money, and I will lean with Vegas, especially the spot here. Vegas needs a win. They've been getting it done, especially on the road. Marchessault anytime goal should also be punched in. I think he gets on the board here. I think we see some goals here from both sides. But parlaying, you could also parlay maybe the 6 and the Vegas on Bet365. Remove all these.
Plus 305.
Yeah.
Vegas over.
So if we expect OT, we definitely expect goals. I think 6, 6.5, 7, 4-3 game with Vegas winning. I like it.
Awesome. Andy, what do you think here? Vegas, Washington.
Yeah, the over is the play here. I agree with that.
One more thing, sorry. Ovechkin to get a goal. I like both Kreider and Ovechkin to break the 30-goal mark tonight, both of them.
Can't go wrong with Ovi.
What are the odds for that? Because I don't think it's Bet365. It's -130 for Ovi to score. That's why I stayed off.
Wow.
Yeah, -130. It's kind of tough. But I know different books have it at different prices. We'll come back to that. Andy, what do you think in this game?
Yeah. So I like the over. In terms of a side, I did lean Vegas, but apparently Mark Stone is out.
He was out last game too.
Yeah, so that and the fact that ever since Golden Knights were created, they have played. Sorry, 1 second. So they have played 5 games in Washington, and they've won only one of them, and that was the first one back in 2018. So they have not won in Washington in 3 years. So I'm going to stay off the side and just go with the over.
All right. Yeah, I totally agree with you on the over. We will move on along.
I quite like the draw as well. I could see that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have the draw, but I totally talked myself onto it. Just going over the game here, and I talked myself onto the draw as well.
Yeah. On William Hill, the book I have here, I have Ovi plus 110 to anytime goal scorer. So anytime you get plus money on Ovi.
Wow.
Yeah, very good value.
So Nick has to go here in a couple minutes, so we'll let you finish off with the final 3 games. Just list out your picks there, and then best bet and best parlay piece. Both of them I already have typed in, and I'll have them scroll at the end of the show. So go ahead, Nick. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the next game we're going over was Montreal and Minnesota. If you're talking about draw plays, I'm not a draw bettor, but I was tempted on betting the draw between Minnesota and Montreal. We've noticed Montreal has been competing more. They've been playing a lot better since they've gotten Tyler Toffoli and Josh Anderson back in the lineup. I think this Montreal team is getting healthier, and this Montreal team is getting better than we think they are, and the market just hasn't adjusted to them yet. They've played really well. They've covered puck lines in back-to-back games. I'm on Montreal plus 1.5, and I took a shot at plus 309 because I like backing dogs like that because I don't think any team should be a minus 300 versus anybody in the NHL because anybody can win on any night on any given game. So that's the beauty of the NHL. That's why I love my underdogs. So Montreal plus 1.5, plus 310. I'm sorry, Terry. I'm betting against your Wild here. This is just a strict price play here. It's not because it's your Wild. This is a strict by merit. No team should be a plus 300 in the NHL. And I think eventually we're not going to see plus 300 price tags on Montreal once we realize that this team is going to be better than we think they are. Because I think once they get Jake Allen back as well in net, Montembeault and Caden Primo have not been that bad. Considering they get 45 shots chucked at them in a game, 3 to 4 goals is not terrible for these goalies, all things considered.
They're not NHL goaltender starters, so it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like you say, Josh Allen should definitely bring this team back to even.
Exactly. This team is not a playoff team, not by any stretch of the imagination, but they're better than we think they are. It's just this team's been crippled by their laundry list of COVID and injuries the entire season. So they've been bad because they don't have half their players. That'll happen for almost any team who loses their entire roster. But moving on from Terry's team to Bleed's team, Chicago Blackhawks at the Colorado Avalanche. Don't worry, Terry. I'm not fading just your team. Give me the Blackhawks plus 1.5, plus 270. Plain and simple. And I said this on my show this morning, and Bleed agreed with me in the comment section. This Colorado Avalanche team, I believe in 7 of their last 11 games, have not covered a puck line. And that includes going to a shootout against the Coyotes. That includes going to overtime against the Canadiens. So this team plays down to their competition. Plain and simple. This team plays down to their competition, and I don't trust them laying it.
Yeah, we do. We take night offs against shitty teams. It is
exactly. And I think this is one of those nights where if you guys are big parlay people, don't put the Avalanche on your parlay. Do not do it, because either the Canadiens or the Blackhawks are going to kill a lot of parlays tonight. It's one of those two big teams. There's 3 plus 200 underdogs. The Ducks, the Canadiens, and the Blackhawks. One of them is going to win tonight. Quote me
Parlay.
now. One of those big dogs are going to win tonight and ruin a lot of parlays.
First of
wanna
all,
put that out
you
there.
should never
Put all
parlay
three of them,
minus
put all
300
three of them
teams.
into a parlay.
Yes.
Ever. Do not ever
exactly.
do that in any sport. That is the dumbest shit you could do in wasting your monies. Is parlay minus 300 favorite teams, especially
because that's what the books want you to do. There's reasons why Vegas has nice, beautiful casinos. It's not because of people betting straight bets. It's because of people parlaying. So, Chicago Blackhawks plus 1.5. That is my best bet for today. Plus 1.5 Chicago Blackhawks, especially a game where we can see Marc-Andre Fleury stand on his head. They always have that opportunity when Marc-Andre Fleury is in net. And then for the last game, I'm going to end with a good old pass between Calgary and St. Louis with a lean towards Calgary in regulation, because I don't bet St. Louis. I don't trust St. Louis on the road, because they are a team similar to Florida, where their home road splits are terrible. Similar to Dallas as well. Their home road splits are terrible. So I don't bet the Blues. I don't bet the Blues on the road. They've been outshot. They've been outchanced in the last few games. Lean towards Calgary and reg in the last game. But best bet, Chicago Blackhawks plus the 1.5 at plus 110. And my best parlay piece is the Vegas Golden Knights plus the 1.5 at minus 195.
All right. You can all find Nick at Earl Sports Bets on YouTube. The link for him is in the About section. It says all the coppers are listed below. You can also find Andy, and I will be getting Bleed on there if he's not on there right after the show. And their names will be there. Click on the link. Takes you right to their their Twitter page. So that's where you can find Nick. Thanks for coming, Nick. I'm sorry you're wasting your money on the Montreal Canadiens tonight, but maybe most of your other bets will cash, and you'll be okay. But
all right, yeah. One last thing. Let's hope people let the dogs out tonight, because I think we hear some barking tonight.
We shall see.
All right.
Have a good one. All right, and that is it for the Vegas-Washington game. And now we are moving on along. Montreal Canadiens take on my Minnesota Wild. Plus 290 for Montreal, minus 370 for Minnesota, a total of 6.5. Obviously, this is a tough game with the odds here for the Wild. I did find 3 spots that I like, though. So Minnesota first period, minus half a goal, plus 100 for a half unit. I think they have a lead after the first. And then the one play I really like that will be my best bet today is Minnesota race to 4 goals, minus 125. I have 2.5 units on that. I don't see Montreal scoring 4 goals before Minnesota does. Minnesota is the third best offensive team at home, scoring 4.29 goals a game at home, and also 6th best in shots for, 36.1 shots for at home. The Wild are also 5-0-1 in their last 6. They've won 7 in a row at home versus Montreal, including 2 7-1 wins and a 6-3 win in the last 4 games. Since the Winter Classic, Wild are 5-0-1. So obviously I like my Wild here. However, the Wild on the puck line is a little bit iffy. So the Wild have been kind of close in some games. So last game versus Chicago, we were down 3-2 going into the last final minutes, and I live bet Minnesota plus 525 on the money line with 3 minutes to go. That is going to be my advice right now. So if at any point in time the Wild are down by a goal in the third period and there is around 3 to 4 minutes left, and you see the Wild money line anywhere above plus 400, I would take it. This team leads the NHL in 6-on-5 goals, and I have seen enough comebacks to know that that's the play, just for value purposes. So that is it for me in this game. Also my my first bet, Minnesota first period minus half a goal plus 100 for half unit, 2.5 units on Minnesota race to 4 goals minus 125, and 1 unit on Minnesota race to 5 goals at plus 155. This Montreal team is going to come back down to where they've been all season long tonight. They have been playing pretty well lately, but it's going to end tonight. The Wild have been excellent against Montreal for years now. So, Bleed, what do you think? Montreal and Minnesota?
Oh, man. Look, this is going to be a similar angle that I'll take on my team later on. That we're going to talk about these games. Both our teams are huge favorites right now by the books. It's the limit. It's to limit the profits, obviously. Both of our teams should win this game. Though, Wild haven't been great at covering puck lines. Neither have we. I love your angle about betting live in both of these games, especially in this game too. If Montreal comes out strong or somehow takes a lead in the second, I don't necessarily see it in the first because Montreal does start a little slow. I think their second period is one of their best periods in the hockey. So I would totally be with you on that one, because if you can get plus money on the Wild or on a top tier team playing a part of my language dog shit team, because that's what Montreal is. That's what these teams are in general. That would be the angle. I like the first period Wild to win here. I know it's a little juice that even money. I do like the Wild to take a early lead, maybe a 1-0 play. What I do have in this game is Kaprizov to score anytime goal. That should be between plus 140 and plus 110, I believe, depending on the book. I also like Eriksson Ek PP point. That should be at plus 195, something around there. Plus 185.
I'll check here. Kaprizov to scores minus 125 at Bet365, so it's not very good.
It's not that bad.
X to scores plus 230 anytime goal.
That too is a play. I think I would put a quarter unit on that too, or a half unit, whatever you're more comfortable with. I know he's been he just came from an injury, for a long injury, right? So
yeah, he was off. He was off quite a few games. I think 3 or 4, and then he got COVID, or he was on COVID protocol, so he was out a couple more games. But he came back and just acted like he had never left. So
yeah. No, he's a great sound player, two-way player, one of the best two-way players, underrated in hockey, in my opinion. Big guy too, right? He's what, 6'4", 6'5"?
I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, he plays. He's one of those players that pisses off all the opponents.
Yeah, just the way he's hard to move, and he has very good hands for how big he is, and that's rare in hockey to see a guy that big with such good hands and sense of hockey. But yeah, I like that. I'm gonna parlay. Once I finish my PP parlay, I'll definitely give it out here. I'm just looking more into the numbers, but that's what I like in this game.
All right, Andy, what do you think? Montreal and Minnesota.
So I think it'll be a competitive game. I think it'll be high scoring. Minnesota games at home are usually high scoring, so no objection to an over there. I think Montreal will be in this game. They haven't won in Minnesota since 2011, so I'm not going to take them on the money line. But I think the draw is a possibility. Both teams have been playing a lot of draws recently. But the play I like the most is for Montreal to score over 2.5 goals at plus 120.
Yeah, Talbot is returning. He hasn't played in quite a few games off an injury. And even before his injury, he wasn't looking very well. He wasn't
playing that well, no.
Now, I'm hoping, obviously, as a fan, that the time off has helped him and that he's going to come in refreshed and play better. I know he's capable of it, but we'll have to actually see. It's tough knowing when a goalie comes back off an injury like that. It's tough knowing exactly how they're going to play. So we'll have to see. And we will move on along to the second last game of the night. Chicago is in Colorado, plus 255 for Chicago, minus 315 for Colorado, total 6.5, minus 110 each way. This was a pass for me. Actually, no, sorry, not true. I have a quarter unit on the draw in this game at plus 400. Both teams have been going to overtime. 6 out of Colorado's last 12 have gone overtime, and 4 of Chicago's last 11 have gone overtime. Colorado is the much better team here. Chicago has been somewhat keeping games close, and Colorado hasn't been covering the puck line. So I could see why somebody would take Chicago plus 1.5, but I don't know. Colorado's really good at home, and I see Minnesota having a big night. I don't think it's going to be a close game between Minnesota and Montreal, and I have the feeling that Colorado is not. It's not going to be close between Chicago either. Well, I do. I'm mixed on it, so I'm taking the draw because of the numbers, the history. It's gone. They've been going to overtime lately.
And overtime.
So yeah, quarter unit. It's not a big play for me, but I would not be surprised to see Colorado kick Chicago's butt. So that's why it's only a quarter unit play. Nothing serious for the draw. I usually only do quarter or half units for draws, just because they're hard to actually win a lot of the time. Both these teams are trending over right now, and in the history, they've trended over as well. But that's at a total of 6, so 6.5. No total for me in this game. I'll just stick with the draw. Bleed, your Colorado Avalanche here. Are they going to defeat my biggest rival?
I'll let Andy go first. Let me go last.
All right. Are you ready for this game, Andy?
Yeah. So if you've been backing the away team in Colorado to win, usually at very big odds, you have lost. Essentially every time. If you have been backing Colorado on their puck line recently, you have lost. Chicago has been better recently, and Fleury is inconsistent, but when he's on, he's very good. So I think the play here is Chicago on the puck line at plus money. But the other play I really like here is both teams to score 3 or more goals at plus 200.
That's really interesting. Yeah, if you like so I guess you would probably like the over too then.
Yeah,
but obviously that's a much better odds, much better value.
Correct. So I'm comfortable. So the over is 6.5, and that's at minus 110. Now I think Colorado get their usual 4 at home or more. So the question is, do I think that Chicago can get 3? Well, if you look at the team total for Chicago, over 2.5, so to get 3 is plus 105. Well, I can get both teams to get 3 or more at plus 200. So I'm going for me, it's a no-brainer. I don't think that you're going to be in the unfortunate situation where Chicago gets 3 or more and Colorado doesn't. Don't think that happens here. There's a chance it could, but I'm willing to accept that risk. And plus 200, that seems like a good play to me. Would not be shocked by a draw here, but I don't think Chicago will.
Yeah, I feel that. Bleed, what do you think here? You're muted.
My bad. Yeah. I was on the phone with Joe Sakic yesterday. Asking, bro, I just lost 7 units with you guys. Come on. What's going on? He basically just told me we're winning games. And it's not necessarily pretty, but we're winning games. So for me on this one, It's a no touch for me. I see the angle with the puck line with Chicago. I would tend to agree with it. I think Chicago can get an early lead. And if Chicago gets an early lead from you, this would be a live bet for the Avalanche at plus money to still win the game. Chicago hasn't beaten us this season. They haven't won many games in Colorado lately. Fleury will be a factor in this game, but so will that guy behind me. That's why I like him to get a power play point at plus 120. I like the Avalanche to get back on scoring the power play on the first unit, because the last game against the Canadiens, we scored on power play, but it was all our second unit power plays. All our power plays on the first units, we were like 0 for 3. So for us to keep winning and to be effective, we're going to have to score on the power play, and I think we're going to get power play goals in this one. If anything, I actually have a two-teamer here with over power plays, over 1.5 power play goals in the Colorado and Chicago game, and the Dallas Stars and Flyers game, with half a unit on that at plus 373 on CoolBet. So for me, that's a play. Expect power play goals on both sides. Our penalty kill hasn't been great at home. We haven't been great killing penalties. Yeah, we can score on the shorthanded, but we also get scored on. It is what it is. Until we can get superhuman goaltending, or maybe get a goaltender at the trade deadline that is a number one goaltender, maybe Flower, because right now Carey Price has had a minor setback with his knee, so I don't think Colorado's going to want to pay half the salary for a goalie that's, we don't know what the future will hold with his knee. If his knee is 100% checked, that might change. But Flower, for what, a couple of years, maybe get a Stanley Cup here for the Avalanche. I like that. Yeah, for me, Makar to score here is going to be punched in. We saw him score the goal of the year in overtime last time they faced Chicago. He undressed the entire Blackhawks team. I think I might ride with you guys on that Chicago puck line, just for the shits and giggles of it, because my team needs a wake up call. So this might be a wake up call to be like, hey, we can't play like this. We can't just play down to certain teams just because they're a weaker opponent. Because you have three lines that can score like a first line team. So I'll probably have more props on this as soon as the books open up more, but I don't have shot props right now. I like McKinnon over 4.5 shots. If you can get that at plus money, you can parlay that in almost anything. I think he easily gets 5-6 shots on goal in this game. We know he's always a danger to score and to get shots. If he doesn't score, he gets shots on it. So that's it. That's all you're going to get from me.
All right. If you two could get me your best bets in the private chat. So each day, each person will give a best bet, a minus 150 odds or better, and a best parlay piece, which can be any odds whatsoever. Even minus 300, whatever. And they are tracked as 1 unit bets. So obviously, if you want to take plus money plays, that puts you up in the standings. If you want to take minus 300 for your parlay piece, you can do whatever you like. That's basically just for the people that are watching that do parlays, something extra they can throw in to build their parlay bigger. So if you guys could type that in the private chat and get that to me as soon as possible, that would be great. We'll move on to the final game here. St. Louis, who played last night, is plus 135 in Calgary, who's minus 155, a total of 6, so plus 100 for the over, minus 120 for the under. This Calgary team is not very good at home. They are 4-3-3 at home. They have not been playing nearly as well at home as on the road. St. Louis 8-2 in their last 10 games. They are playing absolutely great. They have the second best power play, the third best penalty kill on the road. So I look at that and I think, okay, I'm going to jump on some St. Louis props. However, Calgary has the number one best home penalty kill. So that took me off any thoughts of taking any power play props for this game. I passed. I don't have anything on this game. I lean towards St. Louis money line, but on the second half of a back-to-back playing last night, scares me a little. 2 of the last 5 meetings between St. Louis and Calgary did go to overtime. However, 0 of St. Louis's last 10 have gone to overtime, and 0 of Calgary's last 6 have gone to overtime. So neither of these teams are going to overtime right now, so I would not really consider a draw. This is a stay-off game for me. I looked at some props too. Nothing that really jumped off the page at me. So my lean would be St. Louis money line at plus 135, but it's just a lean for me. Bleed, what do you think?
The only thing I got in this game is Calgary in regulation at plus 105. That's on Bet365, and on CoolBet you should be able to get that at plus 110. So it varies. I like the value there. I'm just gonna fade the Blues here. I believe Binnington is in, and Nets. Uso just played last night again. He's been playing a lot, so I think they're gonna give Uso a night off. And Binnington has been great on the road. Calgary has been uneven, but I like Calgary at home here. I just like him to really win in regulation and take care of this Blues team. I have probably props in this game. I like Gaudreau assist. I like Gaudreau PP point, and I like Matthew Tkachuk to score in this game. I also like Tarasenko to score in this game if the Blues get on the board. That would be what I got.
Okay. Can you do me a quick favor, Bleed? What's Rantanen to get a point on your book? It's not Bet365. On CoolBet or
Get a point?
Yeah. It's probably
on CoolBet. Rantanen to get a point. That's probably juice. On CoolBet for Rantanen to get a point is minus 400.
Oh, minus 400 to get a point?
To get a point, because most of these props, like on William Hill, Rantanen to get 2 points is they don't have him to get a point. They only have him to get 2 points, which I wouldn't mind. I'd like him to score in this game.
Right.
My books on that haven't opened yet. That's kind of annoying. Wait. Okay. Points. There we go. For him to get 2 points is plus 130. But for him to get 1 point is like minus 400 on CoolBet.
All right. Andy, what do you think here? St. Louis and Calgary.
So when you look at the underlying analytics and the advanced metrics for these two teams, St. Louis Blues are due for some major negative regression. They are getting massively outshot in all of their games. Even when they beat the Canucks on Sunday, I think it was, they were outshot 39-17. And even though they're winning, they're being outshot by a very, very large margin. So that says that they're due for some negative regression. And what you want to do is then find a team that they're going to match up against where that could occur. And I think this Flame spot is a very good spot for them. They're off the back of a 5-3 loss in Edmonton, which broke Edmonton's long streak of losses. So this is a bounce back spot back at home for the Flames. And I think what you'll see here is that the Flames win. I wouldn't be surprised if they win by a margin here. I'm going to take them in regulation because I can get a plus money, though the puck line is tempting. I also like the over. The total set at 5.5. So I'm going to play both the over. Both these teams play to the over against each other and recently. So over 5.5 and Calgary in regulation.
All right. I'm just updating the best bets here. Yeah, so I will do that. Best bets and best parlay piece. For me, my best bet is going to be the play I have the most money on. So my 2.5 unit play, Minnesota race to 4 goals, minus 125. And my best parlay piece. So far there's been 3 hockey shows. My Wild have played all 3. I've chosen the Wild in best bets and best parlay piece both days so far. I'm going to go a little bit different here. And for my best parlay piece, I'm going to take New York Rangers money line, minus 155. Couldn't take it as a best bet because it is not minus 150 or better. But minus 155, I'll take that for the best parlay piece. I think the Rangers do well in this game. Bleed, what do you think?
My best bet is going to be the over 6.5 alternative total for the Stars and Flyers game at plus 140. I think that should cash easily before the third period. I think we see a lot of goals in this one. Like I said, I see power play goals in this, so goals obviously. And as a parlay piece, if you can get it, I'm still waiting for the books to get is McKinnon over 4.5 over 4 shots on goal. That should be at even money or close to even money. That's a good parlay piece for me. You can plug in.
All right. 1 second here. So get this scrolling on. And Andy, what do you think?
So best bet for me would be Flames in regulation at plus 105. And for a parlay piece, I'm not a big parlay person, but I had to find something that was quite juiced so it doesn't at least kill your parlay. But I went with Rantanen to get a point.
All right. I'm sorry, Bleed, one more time. What was your best parlay piece again? I didn't get it typed in here. So your best bet was over Dallas, Philly, over 6.5 plus 140. What was the parlay piece again?
Nathan McKinnon over 4 shots on goal at even money. At plus 100, even 100.
Over shots at minus 110?
Yep. I guess if you have that on minus 110, it's good. I just don't.
I don't have it up here.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my books to open it. That's why it's kind of.
McKinnon 4.5 is minus 115.
Minus 115. There you go. You should usually get 5, I think.
All right.
Chicago gets outshot a lot, especially on the road. So.
All right. So that is the show. Please tune in later on at 8:30 p.m. I'll be doing a quick, probably around a half-hour show with Nick and Nathan, just looking at tomorrow's lines, and they will go and tell you what they think, what you should bet now, what you should bet later, what lines are going to move, and I will be watching the Wild game in the background, so expect some emotion on my face. A lot of it because I'll be watching the Wild game. And good luck to everybody. we will end the stream, and I will have the record posted, the current record.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
Because right here I'm building this little parlay for the people, just a sprinkle, guys. Don't go crazy, but this is a inspiration from Alexander Fuckoff, our fellow hockey guy here, because he just hit a parlay with the PP points, and he actually can hit those pretty often. You see the games where you see parlay power play goals and players to get their parlay their power play points. Sorry. Just need to get Makar in here. So Robertson PP point, Kreider PP point, Eriksson Neck PP point, and Kel Makar PP point. That's a plus 7,108. Somebody could probably fuck it up. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Makar, which is the most juiced out of the power play points. But
Makar got hit late in that last game.
What?
Makar got hit late in that last game. High.
Oh. Like on the head or shoulder, or you don't
He
know?
got a high stick.
Oh.
He looked a bit concussed. I'm gonna watch what he looks like.
Well, if he's out, then your parlay is going to be waived, or it's going to be reduced.
I don't think he'll be out.
But I see power play goals here, at least from Colorado, and him, McKinnon, and Kadri have been getting a lot of the points.
Yeah, Kadri for sure, definitely.
So, shots.
All right. Welcome in, Cargod.
Give me 1 second. 1 second.
No problem. Yeah. So that is basically the card. We're just about to finish the show here, Cargod. So figure out your best bet and best parlay piece. We can't hear you.
I can hear you now. You can hear me?
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, you're good now.
Yeah, sorry, I got caught up with a customer. I'm a little late. So I would say my best bet on the day would be Wild first period -0.5. They've covered the first period in, I think, 7 of their last 8 home games, and you're getting plus 105 there against the Canadian teams who's been kind of hot lately, but at the same time, it's kind of fluky because they haven't really played many good defensive teams. So I would say that Wild first period -0.5 would be my best bet of the day.
Okay.
As for a lay piece, I kind of really like the Ducks to get it back together. I know they got a few guys coming back tonight, and at the plus 1.5, getting -115 is the value, is really, really good value for a plus money or for a plus points in hockey. I just think that they're going to hang tonight. I think they got Gibson in net, and Gibson, he's been shaky, but he has to get back in his mindset. He has to, they're getting closer to playoffs now, so he has to start playing better. I think the whole team's just going to click tonight. I like them to cover at least the 1.5. I'd like it to be a close game, maybe in the third, possibly even win it outright. So that's my late piece.
Perfect. So the people that weren't on here, Nathan sent in his best bet and best parlay piece, and so did Pickett. So Pickett, Cairo over half a point, -135, and his best parlay piece, St. Louis Calgary over 5.5, which was -140. Nathan, Anaheim to score in the first period, -115, and his best parlay piece, Philly plus 1.5, -180. That is the show. An hour and 20 minutes. Pretty good show. A lot of good games on tonight. Good luck, everybody. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. And good luck, guys. Have a good
Thanks,
night.
Sir. Everybody.
Thanks for having us, man.
Best of luck.
No problem. Have a good one.
Thank you very much, Terry. Thanks, everyone.
No problem.